Good Saturday morning to everybody. I thought this would be a good time to talk about my skincare routine. I just put a deep treatment mask on my hair, put it up, and I got it away from my face, so I thought I would grab this opportunity to talk about it. First, I want to give you a little bit of what I deal with my skin, just my skin. These are pretty consistent issues that no matter what I do, no matter what product I use, they just don't seem to improve. And firstly is I have a problem with bags under my eyes, big time. My eye doctor says it's because of dry eyes. I think it's related more to aging, but no matter what I do, no matter what I use, they just don't seem to improve. And I have actually tried, are you ready for this? Preparation H. Yes, I bought it in Canada to make sure I got the one with the stuff that's supposed to help with that. Didn't do a thing. Also, the older I get, dark circles in here. Actually, my whole eye, around my whole eye, it seems to be darkening quite a bit. And obviously I'm over 40, so these things have to be expected, but it doesn't mean I have to like them. My third issue is this. All this extra skin. This I started to notice in my, I don't know, a couple of, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I started noticing my face was drooping here, and I started getting these little jowls. And if I could have anything fixed, it would be these. Because I can see when I look at pictures of myself when I was younger, these were not here, and it's very aging, and I feel like my neck is the worst thing. And all this is hanging loose. So those are the issues. Plus I have a couple of, spots here. I don't know if those are from birth control or if they're also aging. I'm pretty sure they're skin damage. So those are the issues I deal with on a daily basis and have dealt with. And my hair is dripping. And also, my history is, as you know, I am a native Southern Californian. I grew up out in the sun every single day of my life. During the week when I went to school, I lived with my grandparents, and my grandparents had a community swimming pool. They were also foster parents, so there was always a ton of kids around. So right after school, we'd head down to the pool for a couple of hours until it was time for dinner, and we'd come home. Then on the weekends and during the summer, my mom lived about 3 blocks from the beach. So every day we were there, me and my best friend Jack, who lived a couple houses down. We were 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. We would go to the beach by ourselves, can you believe it? We would run across Pacific Coast Highway, and we would spend all day out in the water, and then we'd run back to where the sand was really hot and just sit and talk, and then we'd do this all day long, back and forth. So I grew up every single day in the sun or in the water. I was never not tan. Even during the winter, I had a base tan. So my entire life, my skin was exposed to the sun. This is the first time moving to New York that I don't have a tan. I'm not used to it. I feel pale. I feel unhealthy. It's a weird thing. So growing up where I grew up, it was a lifestyle to be out in the sun, and the sun shone pretty much every day. So that's my story. So probably when I hit maybe 34, I had to go to the dermatologist because I had a spot here that wasn't healing. It ended up being a little small skin cancer. It was right in the middle of my forehead. It just kind of kept getting bigger and bigger. It was maybe the size of a pencil eraser. It was a little bit darker than my own skin tone, and that's what it was. And that's when I figured out, okay, I need to start taking care of my skin. So I did have some pretty heavy-duty lines in here, and lines across here. So my first go-to was rock. And I started using rock products right away. And they were great. They were terrific on my skin. Within probably 6 months, I started seeing these lines less deep than they used to be. And then as I've gotten older, I've just added more products because, you know, kind of have to. So now I'm at the point, after testing a lot of things, the things that work for me. Now there are two things that I do consistently, and I have done for years. These things never change. The first one is I sleep with a humidifier every single night, whether it's summer, winter, fall, or spring. Secondly, when I get up in the morning, no matter what I've used on my face before, what products, I now do not wash my face. All I do is I splash it with ice cold water, and I mean ice cold. And I think that sort of reduces some of the puffiness. It gets a circulation going, and I just splash it till I almost kind of feel like a brain freeze coming on. And then I just kind of pat it dry. And then next, what I use every single morning is I use aloe vera juice, 100% aloe vera juice. And I use this kind of like as a toner. I also keep this in the refrigerator because it can go bad. And I just use a little round pad, use it as like a toner. This is every single morning. This is what I do consistently. The splashing my face and the aloe vera as a toner. And then I just kind of let this dry. I really dislike my neck, these wrinkles on my neck. And you can see a lot of the sun damage I have on my chest. And, you know, I could hate myself for it, but I don't. I wouldn't trade my youth in the sun and the beach, in the water. My nickname was Mermaid, which was kind of cool because it was really hard to get me out of the water anytime. And I loved it. Okay, so just kind of let this dry. And like I said, no matter what eye cream I use, it doesn't seem to matter. But this is pretty much my favorite. It's Glytone Antioxidant Improve Anti-Aging Eye Cream. I got this from my dermatologist. Luckily, because I work for the hospital, I got it at a little bit of a discount because it's not cheap. And I just, you know, put it on every morning and night, but we'll get to that. Don't use too much. It's got caffeine in it, so it does help a little bit with the puffiness, but not to the point where I'm happy with it. And you can see those bags? And last night was date night, and Mexican food, and of course a couple shots of tequila, so my eyes are reacting a little bit to that. So secondly, remember, this is my morning routine when I get up and I go to work. I'm right now currently experimenting with some serums, and I'm using a lot of samples that I got from my Ipsy box and my Burt box, and right now this seems to be my favorite. It's by Marcelle. It's called New Age 3-in-1 Multi-Action Care, and I like it because it's sort of a jelly cream. It's a thin, it's a serum, and this goes all over. It soaks in really, really nice. Also get it on my neck. I don't know if it's helping much, but this is the eye cream. I do have the face cream upstairs, but it's essentially the same. Not sure if you can see it. I'll put information on the bottom, excuse me. And then of course I let this kind of sit. We're speeding this up a little bit. As I'm getting ready, I'll get dressed or put my jewelry on or something, and let everything, every layer that I do, I let soak in. Okay, now forget that I put that on. There are days, like probably today I could have used it, where I wake up and I just feel tired, and just I need a little kick. And I'm in love with this stuff right here. Again, I'll splash my face with ice cold water, and this is something called Skyn Iceland, and it's like it's called the Antidote, and I just, like I said, I just bought the original size bottle. I'm waiting for it to get here. But this is like, I'll show you the consistency of it. Again, it's very similar to what we just used, the serum, but it feels like Altoids for your face. It's minty, and you put it on and it just completely wakes you up. I can feel it right now. It's very minty. It's very pepperminty, and can you see the circulation right away on my face? Woo! Okay, my face is not that red. This coloring makes it look really, really red, but I can feel it, like getting my circulation going. Again, it's by Skyn Iceland, the Antidote. I think this size bottle I bought was about $50, but I love it, and it's a great pick-me-up for those really sleepy, tired days, or if I've been out walking around in the wind in the winter and my face feels real parched, it just feels so good. Okay, so I will use either of those two serums in the morning. Secondly, occasionally I will use a face oil, and I'm really liking this one. It's by Botanics. It's called 100% Organic Facial Oil. This is it. And I don't use this every day, but it's just a little extra nourishing. And I was a little bit leery about putting oil on my face because, you know, when you're a kid, you're a teenager, you want to avoid oily skin. But as your skin matures, you want to give it as much as you can. So I just use a very, very small amount. It's in a little squeeze dropper. It's a little tiny amount, depending on how my skin feels. Okay, rub it, and I just kind of pat this on. And I do give my face a little massage sometimes in the morning, and I just, because in my head it's probably not true, but I feel like if my skin on my face is getting some circulation, then it's draining all those fluids, and these won't be so bad. I'm probably just making that up. So this isn't even, I can barely feel this on my skin. It does help if I wear any sort of foundation. I don't wear solid foundation ever because I don't like the feel of it on my skin. It just feels like something is sitting on my skin. I do use a BB cream, which is a mix of lotion and a little tint. It's like a tinted moisturizer. And I'm really liking Clinique City Block right now. It's a good shade for me, but that's a whole makeup thing. So I'm not even going to really discuss that here. Okay, so that's our face oil that I just spilt right there. Okay, next is my favorite of any product, probably because of what it did to my skin from the beginning, and it is good old Rock. I also use the night cream of Rock, but I'll show you that in a bit. Okay, this is the Multi Correction 5-in-1 Daily Moisturizer. You can get it with a sunscreen or without a sunscreen. And this is just my favorite. It's my go-to. I've used it for years, like I've said. It's a little bit thicker. Now remember, I don't put all of this stuff on my face on a daily basis. I do use a serum, my Rock, and our last thing I will show you as soon as I'm done. But everything does soak in well because I don't like things sitting on my skin. It just makes me feel dirty and greasy and like I need to do something. Okay, so again, after everything, I kind of walk around, finish getting dressed, do what I need to do, as I let each layer sink in. Okay, lastly, most importantly, sunscreen. Now, like I said, you can buy the Rock with the sunscreen. This one might already have it. I'm not. Yes, it does. So anyway, double protection. This is my favorite sunscreen, and I've tried different sunscreens. This and the Garnier one I really like. The expensive ones I've tried have just been thick and white and zinky, and it takes a long time. It just seems to sit on my skin. But remember, this is my skin. Your skin is going to be different. So this is the Olay Complete All Day Moisturized Sunscreen with SPF 30. And I'll show you what I mean with the consistency. It's white. It looks white. I think I used a little bit too much. But you can see how white it is when you rub it in. But once I get it in my skin, it really does blend well. Okay, so I've got all that on there. And then again, I will finish getting dressed, do what I need to do while everything just kind of soaks in to my skin. All right, so that's what I do pretty much on a daily basis when I go to work during the week. And then after this kind of sets, I'll go ahead and I'll put my makeup on. Okay, now let's skip to night. My night routine varies from day to day because, well, I'll tell you in a minute. But I have two cleansers I have used consistently. One is pretty new, but this is my favorite cleanser of all. This is the Estee Lauder Radiant Vitality 2-in-1 Foam Cleanser. It's Estee Lauder Nutritious. And I like this because you can use a little tiny bit and it'll foam really nicely. But when you wash it, it doesn't, when you rinse it off your face, it does not feel really stripped or dry. So I use this. As soon as this is out, I order some more. I get this at Nordstrom's. I really like it. It is tried and true for me. It is a cream foam cleanser. Now remember, this is night. Or I started to use about a couple of months ago a cleansing oil. I have two that I'm experimenting with, and this is the one I like the best. This is the Burt's Bees Cleansing Oil. They have different types for different kinds of skin. This is a normal to dry skin with coconut and argan oil. Again, this goes on to dry skin, so I'll come home and take my makeup off my eyes with probably, I think I'm using Yes to Coconuts, the little sheets, but I'm looking for a better eye makeup remover because that seems to sting my eyes a little bit. And then I will take a couple of this on dry skin, rub it in, and just smooth it all over my face, over the makeup, really get it in there. And my face is pretty oily, and then I just rinse it with a cleanser, and it comes off really nice. Again, it leaves my face feeling really moisturized at that time. So after that, this is nighttime, remember, excuse me, I use pure coconut oil under my eyes. My eyes tend to get really dry, and I don't use a whole lot because it does go far. I just simply put it on like an eye cream all over, and after I'm done with that, I just leave it. It could be a little bit greasy, but it does soak in. And my next thing that I use, like I said, my nighttime routine varies, but darn it. Okay, I'm currently using this hyaluronic gel. It's by Mychelle, and it's called the Biofirm Hydrogel Concentrate. And here it is. I have been using it even though it doesn't even look like I've touched it because it's a gel. It's very soft. It's very hydrating. It is a gel. I have so much stuff on my face right now. But it takes a little bit of time to get in there. I would never put this all over this normally, but this is nighttime. We're talking about nighttime now. So I washed my face with either my oil or my Estee. I've put the coconut oil under my eyes, and I've used my hyaluronic gel. And the one thing I forgot to bring down was my Rock nighttime cream. And that's the last thing I put on my face. It's a thicker, heavier cream. And then I go to bed. Okay, now every other night, and this has been, I've been on this for a year, and it has definitely changed the texture of my skin. My skin is softer, it's smoother, it's a little less wrinkly, it's not as light in the spots that I had wished, but this is what I'm talking about. This is good old Retin A prescription. I started this, I had to undo it because this is my tube, and I got this last April. I started with the 0.25%. It is prescription from my doctor, from my family doctor, not my dermatologist. I just went to her and she gave me the prescription for it because I was getting little tiny breakouts in odd places. I talked to my doctor about it. Actually, I talked to my dermatologist, and she said, well, you know, and you're that age. So anyway, I started with the 0.25%, and it didn't seem to be strong enough for me. So we bumped it up. I started last February, and we bumped it up in April to the 0.5. And this really seems to be working for me. I use this every other night because every night is too drying for me, and you have to kind of test it and see what strength is good for your skin. I was a little bit leery at first because I heard, you know, you're going to get all red and you're going to get all peely, and that really didn't happen to me. I think maybe because my skin was in fairly good shape before I started using it. But this is really interesting because you use this much, I'll show you, for your entire face. It's a pea, and they tell you it's pea size. And I'm going to put this over all this because we don't have any choice right now. I'm going to have to go wash my face. Well, I'm going to rinse this out. So I just do this. That's all you should do. And it's gone. See? And you just rub it in. It's a little bit difficult to spread. It feels like I don't have enough on my face. But the reason you only use this little bit amount is because this stuff migrates. It moves. It moves along your skin. And that's it. It's really, really simple, but it does dry your skin. Like I said, I can feel the other products kind of peeling off. And the consistency of my skin has changed dramatically, like I said. So I'm really a proponent of Retin A. If you can get to your doctor and get a prescription for it, it is well worth it. It does take a while to show any kind of effects, so you have to be patient with Retin A. My other products I'm loving. I'm using them. The only thing, like I said, is I'm looking for a good serum. Oh, my face. It doesn't feel bad. It really doesn't, with all this crazy stuff that probably shouldn't be mixing together, but it feels good. So that's it, you guys. If you have any questions on any of these products, any questions on the issues I'm having with my skin, let me see if I can get a little bit closer so you can see. I know this isn't the best lighting, but my skin for my age, I don't think it's too bad. A lot of it has to do with genes, and my mom had really good skin up until, I don't know, she hit 80 or something like that. So I feel good with the routine I'm using. Again, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. I ask them to the best of my ability. And let me know if you've found any products that, for us over 40 gals, that you think work pretty good, okay? And also, I forgot to tell you at night, every night before I go to bed, I put chapstick on, okay? All right, guys, I will see you later. I do have a Stitch Fix unboxing right here. I just got to get to it, okay? Love ya, and thanks for watching.